I recently made 67,000 US dollars in under 90 days with table tennis coaching, and I'm walking away from it. Hi, my name's Hemming Hu. I'm a two-time Olympic table tennis player. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the three main reasons why I'm done with table tennis coaching and why exactly I'm transitioning into helping athletes with their mental and emotional side so they can perform better on tournament days and also bounce back from defeats and hard moments to become better athletes and better people. I'll share the life lessons from these three main reasons and show you how you can use these exact same lessons to help you with anything that you're trying to pursue if you want to become elite. Point and lesson number one, I am over table tennis. I no longer enjoy hitting table tennis balls. This is just the truth. And you may be sitting here as a table tennis enthusiast watching my videos thinking, you were so good at table tennis, how could you possibly hate it? Well, this just kind of disproves the fact that you need to love something to be good at it. But you need to love it while you're doing it, because if you don't love it, how are you going to stick it out for as long as I did, which was 23 years as a professional player? So did I always hate it? Of course not. From the age of 6 all the way until the age of about 25, I loved table tennis, and that's all I could ever think about. It's all I ever wanted to do. Like, I remember being in China and, practicing already 8 hours that day. Now, my family in China, some of my relatives, they wanted to come and have dinner with me, and they booked it in 1 month in advance. And on that same night, I suddenly just, Mum, I don't want to go to dinner with them. I want to practice. And keep in mind, I'd already practiced 8 hours that day. So I was obsessed, and I am an obsessive person, and I own that gladly. So that journey for me is done. And as much as I tried to go back into table tennis coaching because I thought, okay, it's the best way for me to make money, it's what I know best, I was wrong about these. As well, I thought I could enjoy it in my own way, but for the most part, it was nothing more of a grind, right? And not in a good way. So the reality is, a lot of things are finite. A lot of things they're not forever. I spent most of, from the age of 6, I wasn't popular in school. I crapped my pants as a kid and picked on, told by teachers I should stay down. This worried my parents, who then, in their own loving way said, you need to catch up to other kids. You're not good enough. You're just insufficient. There's something wrong with you. And table tennis was my way to prove that I could become as good as other kids or better, right? That anger in me wanted to prove that I could become as worthy as other people. This is not stuff that I subconsciously thought about as a kid. It was in my subconscious, but I'm not consciously thinking, I'm not popular in school or amongst family, therefore table tennis is that avenue to get better as a human. That's not what I was thinking about. I was just like, I feel frustrated, I want to prove myself. Oh my God, I'm pretty good at table tennis. I seem to be told by coaches and people around me that I'm good at it. So I went through the journey. I said, this is the next guy I want to beat. I don't want to stop until I beat him. Of course, what happened is once I actually beat that guy, I felt accomplished for about a day. And then I said, what about the next guy? What about the next guy? And it became this never-ending rabbit chase until, I made 2 Olympics. What it really is I just stuck something out for so long that it was inevitable that I got good at it. Once I pretty much got to a certain level, I was beating a dead horse. I couldn't make a living just from playing table tennis. I mean, my level I was ranked 61 in the world at my highest, but my level was truly about 100 to 400, depending on how well I played that day. Right? So it wasn't good enough to make a living from playing table tennis. I thought, okay, let's use what I know to become a coach. I had just done table tennis too much to where even running a business, it was actually sustainable for me to keep doing it. Right? I literally would rather do something else, even if it was a quarter of the pay. Would I do all of this again if I was a little kid? If I was a 6-year-old who, I could go play tennis, I could go play soccer, I could hang out with friends, which I didn't have back then. I could go and be the kid that enjoys 6 sports at once. I could become anything else. Would I do all this again? Absolutely, because it taught me so many life skills that my parents, my family, or school at that time could not teach me. Things like losing the Youth Olympic qualifying by a point, having to sit with those emotions for months and years on end before finally making a real one. Having score lines like 8-all in the deciding set for a national title or for a spot in the Olympics. Those are the kind of pressures that just most people never experience in their lives. And having never experienced that, you don't get the life skill and the life experience that gives you. Being able to problem solve why you're not as good as someone else and you really want to be. being able to go from absolutely being sick of table tennis in a given moment to bouncing back and then getting through a slump of constant defeats to finding your way back to winning streaks. These are things that they help you in real life. They help you in business. They help you as a corporate worker. They help you as an elite athlete, of course. All these skills that I've learned, like I would not trade them for the world. I never should have got back into table tennis coaching. I just thought that it was my easiest and quickest way to make a lot of cash. This turned out to be semi-true, right? I say semi-true because I'm sure out there's a bigger and better way that I find much more enjoyable that I could provide value than just hitting table tennis balls with people. This was the only thing I thought I knew, right? I thought, okay, the only thing I can do is either school teaching, because I'm a school teacher, or teaching people how to play table tennis. Turns out I was wrong. Turns out all the life skills that I've learned, they're actually in demand. I just got to go find the audience, right? So personally, once I stopped and retired taking table tennis in 2022, I knew like hitting table tennis balls are an absolute grind. Now, sure, I was able to make some good quick cash, but let's talk about success, right? If I'm to be successful in business, if I'm to be successful in my career, you don't do that by being in the career for 2 years. You do that by 1, enjoying the process, 2, being willing to actually be in that career for at least 5 years. Now, you might look at that and go, 5 years? Well, 5 years is not a lot. It took me 23 years to become as good as I did in table tennis. It took Michael Phelps, God knows how long, for him to become an Olympic gold medalist. So realistically, probably even 10 years. When I think about table tennis coaching, am I willing to keep doing that for even another 3-4 years? The answer is hell no. But all the life skills that I've learned, talking about the pressure that I had to handle, talking about bouncing back from the darkest times in Germany when I just kept losing close matches. I said, when I go back to Australia, I'm gonna quit. Only to not quit, to hang in there and then have my best rewards of finally becoming Australian #1 male after that. From all the lessons that I learned from losing for months on end. These are the life lessons that I just deeply want to share with the world of people who want to be elite, whether it's young elite athletes, whether it's sales teams in corporates that are under pressure, one who really wants to be elite. It's my mission now to find those people and serve those people, right? And share these messages. Because these are the messages that I would want to share for the rest of my life, for the rest of my existence, even if you told me not to, right? So that's when I know. When I really thought about it, am I willing to coach table tennis forever? No. Am I willing to talk about this forever? Yes. Well, then it became a very clear option. This is what I should lean towards, and this is not what I should lean towards. Now, I know I already talked about how nothing's forever, right? But when you're doing something and you're passionate about something, in that journey, you often will feel like this is forever. Later, it's probably not going to be. But you need to have that mentality to be like, this is the thing I want to obsess about and get really good at. Point number 3, I was trying to teach identity level transformation in table tennis to hobbyists that didn't want it. Interesting story here. Majority of the clients that I had, they would feel frustrated with me. Looking back at this, I completely understand their position. When they come to table tennis, they want to get a bit better, sure. But for the majority, if they get better or not, they didn't really care that much. Now, there's no obligation to say that they have to want to get better. There can be a communication mismatch because they've paid me to help them get better. But what they truly care more about is what table tennis brings them in terms of enjoyment, relaxation, adventure, fun. Now, some people play table tennis for that reason. Some people play it for purely, I want to improve on this for that purpose, right? So typically more your young kids, your very elite ones, your national team players are going to be the ones that care more about this identity level transformation, because they're the ones that if they lose a match, they're going to feel like, oh, now I'm insufficient. Now I'm not good enough as a human. I really badly want to win. Hobbyist, they're going to come in and they're going to be like, oh, I wish I won today, but that was fun. What's interesting is not all of the clients I have, even though I've targeted hobbyists and club level players, one of them in particular, he's a leader of engineers at Microsoft. He is an elite guy. Look at his job description. He loves table tennis outside of his work hours, his family hours, right? It's all he thinks about. And sure, he's not going to become an American champion or a world champion, but he does table tennis with those exact same mindsets, right? He really tries to level up as much as he can in table tennis, and he loves the process of doing the boring work, repeating a certain pattern that I teach him again and again and again until he can't get it wrong. Now, it's no surprise that he's seen faster improvement than a lot of the other students I coach. Him and another couple of clients of mine who they're elite in their business life and in their professional work life. When we look at the connection, there's a big difference between coaching and training for an identity level change to really become as good as you can be versus doing it for fun. Nothing right or wrong about either, but they often diverge into two different avenues and ways of actually achieving those. So you've got to get clear. Am I in this to try and get better predominantly, or am I in this for fun? Now choose one and understand there's going to be having fun. It's going to look like a very different route every time you come to training. And then if you want to be elite, that's going to look like a very different route as well. So what I was offering to try and improve players as much as possible, even though a lot of hobbyists would say, oh, I'll do anything to improve. What they deep down truly cared about was more about enjoyment. So when I went and to analyze their matches and told them this is what you need to train for the next 5 sessions at least until you get it right, we're not going to move on until you get it right, it didn't fly well with them. It wasn't what they wanted to do. With the exception of a couple who were already elite people, those guys, assuming they wanted to be better at table tennis, they had no problem doing it because they understood that what I was giving them was the boring work that most people won't do, but what it took to get better. So where to from here? I don't like hitting table tennis balls anymore, but I am super, super grateful for the life journey that I've been able to go on and all the things that the hard lessons have taught me about life. And I wouldn't trade these things and these lessons for anything in the entire world. It's not only my life's purpose and mission now, but also my biggest dreams to share all the lessons and hard-earned experiences that I've been able to gather to people who are aspiring to become elite by helping them realize these before it's too late, and also get a lot of these skill sets without having to live through the exact same amount of pain that I had to go through to get it. So if you're a parent of an aspiring elite athlete, or you're a school that has elite athletes who face pressure challenges, bouncing back from defeats, send me a DM on the link in the description. And as soon as you do that, I'll reach out to you personally, send you a message, and we can book a call to discuss how I can best help you through these same problems. So those who follow me and know me from table tennis specific content, it's been a great ride, and I'm still going to be helping you guys as well by giving you the knowledge of how the elite think under pressure, how they operate. But as far as table tennis specific skill sets, that's no longer my passion. Whereas talking about the mindsets needed to succeed, this is absolutely 1,000,000% my biggest passion. So looking forward to seeing you guys in the next video.